Number the debt rule banks hope you never discover. Most people think paying debt is simple. You borrow money, make the required monthly payment, and slowly become debt-free. But there is something many borrowers never fully understand. You can make every payment on time and still remain trapped in debt for years. Why? Because your payment does not always reduce the amount you borrowed as quickly as you think. Part of your payment may go toward interest, part may cover fees. Only the remaining amount reduces the original debt known as the principal. And this is the rule that changes everything. The faster you reduce the principal, the less future interest you pay. It is not magic, it is not a secret loophole, it is simply how most interest-bearing debt works. But lenders often encourage you to focus on a different number. The monthly payment. Number why the monthly payment can mislead you. Imagine you are buying a car. Instead of focusing on the total cost, the salesperson asks, how much can you afford each month? That sounds helpful, but it can hide the real price. A payment of $300 may seem affordable, but if you pay it for 7 years, you will send the lender $25,200. If you borrowed only $20,000, the rest may come from interest and fees. A smaller monthly payment may simply mean the debt lasts longer, giving the lender more time to charge interest. That is why you should ask 3 questions before accepting any loan. How much am I borrowing? What interest rate am I paying? How much will I repay in total? Number time is the hidden cost of debt. Many borrowers focus only on the interest rate. The rate matters, but time matters too. Even a loan with a moderate rate can become expensive when it lasts for many years. Think of interest as rent charged on borrowed money. As long as you continue using the lender's money, you continue paying for it. The lender does not need you to miss payments to earn money. You may follow every rule and still pay a large amount of interest. When you reduce the principal, less borrowed money remains. This means there is a smaller balance available to produce future interest. That is why an extra payment made early can be more powerful than the same payment made years later. Money removed from the principal today cannot continue producing interest during all the months and years ahead. Number the minimum payment trap. Credit card companies usually allow you to make a small minimum payment. This can help when money is tight because it keeps the account from becoming overdue. But minimum payments can also keep debt alive for a very long time. Suppose you owe several $1,000s on a credit card. The company asks for only a small amount each month. The payment feels manageable, but much of it may go toward interest. Only a smaller part reduces the balance. You may feel that you are making progress because you pay every month, but the balance may barely move. And if you continue using the card, the debt may not fall at all. The minimum payment protects the account from immediate default. It is not designed to make you debt-free as quickly as possible. Use minimum payments only as a temporary emergency measure, not a permanent strategy. Number the rule that changes everything. The most important debt rule is simple. Attack the principal as early and as often as possible. The principal is the amount you still owe before future interest is added. Every extra dollar applied directly to principal reduces the balance that can generate interest. Suppose you owe $10,000. If you reduce the balance to $9,000, future interest is calculated from a smaller amount. Reduce it to $8,000, and the amount producing interest becomes smaller again. This gives you 2 benefits. You pay less interest, and you may become debt-free sooner. You do not need a huge extra payment. Even $20, $50, or $100 added regularly can remove months or years from a loan. The key is consistency. Number why starting early matters. Imagine 2 people with the same debt and the same interest rate. The first person begins making extra payments during the first year. The second person waits several years. Even if both eventually pay the same extra amount, the first person may save more money. Why? Because the first borrower reduced the balance earlier. The lender had less principal available to charge interest on during the following years. The second borrower allowed the larger balance to remain for longer. By the time the extra payments began, more interest had already been charged. Do not wait for a raise or bonus. A small payment today may be more useful than a larger payment far in the future. Start with what you can manage. Number, make sure extra money goes to principal. There is an important detail many borrowers miss. Sending extra money does not always mean the lender will apply it the way you expect. Suppose your normal payment is $500 and you send $700. You expect the extra $200 to reduce the principal. But some lenders may treat it as an early payment toward the next month. Your due date moves forward, but the balance may not fall as quickly as expected. Look for an option such as principal-only payment or additional principal. Read the agreement, ask how extra payments are processed, and check for an early payment penalty. Then review your statement to confirm that the principal fell. Number, credit card debt can be especially dangerous. Credit card interest rates are often much higher than rates on other loans. Interest may also be calculated using the balance held during the billing period. Paying earlier or making smaller payments during the month can sometimes lower the balance sooner. But the most important step is to stop creating new debt. There is little benefit in paying an extra $200 if you immediately spend another $200 on the card. You may feel busy, but the balance stays the same. Repayment and spending control must work together. You must stop filling the hole before you can climb out of it. Number, the debt avalanche method. One powerful strategy is the debt avalanche. List all your debts and write down the balance, minimum payment, and interest rate for each one. Arrange them from the highest interest rate to the lowest. Continue making the required minimum payment on every debt. Then send all available extra money toward the debt with the highest rate. When that debt is cleared, move its entire payment to the debt with the next highest rate. Repeat the process until every debt is gone. The avalanche usually saves the most interest because it attacks the most expensive debt first. Number, the debt snowball method. The debt snowball focuses on motivation.
How are extra payments
processed? List your debts from the smallest balance to the largest. Pay the minimum on every debt, then send all extra money toward the smallest one. When it is cleared, roll that payment into the next smallest debt. The snowball may cost more interest, but quick victories can help you stay motivated. Choose the method you can follow consistently: avalanche for interest savings, snowball for quick motivation. Both methods depend on the same principle: concentrate your extra money instead of spreading it weekly across every debt. Number, never spend a payment you have eliminated. Suppose you clear a loan that required $200 each month. Many people immediately use that freed money for new spending. A stronger move is to keep paying the same amount, but send it toward the next debt. Your budget already survives without that money. Clear another debt with a payment of $150, combine both amounts, and you now have $350 for the next balance. Every cleared debt makes the next payment stronger. This is the payment rollover effect. Money that once went to several lenders begins working together toward your freedom. Number, refinancing is not always a better deal. Refinancing replaces an existing loan with a new one. The new loan may offer a lower interest rate or a smaller monthly payment. This can help, but it can also mislead you. A lower payment may come from extending the repayment period. You may have 3 years left on a loan, but the new lender stretches it over 6 years. Your payment becomes smaller, yet you remain in debt for 3 additional years. Before refinancing, compare the total cost, loan length, fees, and whether the rate is fixed or variable. Do not accept a loan simply because the monthly payment is lower. A smaller payment can still create a larger total bill. Number, the truth about debt consolidation. Debt consolidation combines several debts into one loan or payment. This may simplify payments and reduce interest, but it does not remove the habits that created the debt. After your credit cards are paid off, their balances return to zero. If you begin using them again, you may soon have a consolidation loan and new card balances. Now the problem is larger. Consolidation does not erase debt, it moves debt. It works only when the old borrowing cycle ends through controlled spending and a clear repayment plan. Number why you need a small emergency fund. Some people send every available dollar to debt. That sounds responsible, but it can leave them unprotected. What happens when the car breaks down, income falls, or an urgent expense appears? Without savings, they may have to use a credit card again. The balance returns and the progress disappears. A small emergency fund creates protection. It does not need to be huge at first. The right amount depends on your situation. The goal is to handle common surprises without immediately borrowing again. Paying off debt is important. Staying out of debt is just as important. Read the entire agreement. Debt can include more than the advertised interest rate. Promotional rates may expire, late fees can grow, optional products can increase the amount financed, and long terms can disguise expensive purchases. Always read the complete agreement. Do not ask only, "Can I afford this payment?" Ask, "Is this purchase worth the total amount I will repay?" A monthly payment can hide the true cost. The full agreement reveals it. The 3 numbers you must know. Every borrower should know 3 numbers. First, the current principal balance. Second, the interest rate. Third, the total repayment cost or expected payoff date. These numbers tell you far more than the monthly payment alone. Also check whether your rate is fixed or variable. Knowing these numbers gives you control. Without them, you may keep making payments without clearly understanding where the debt is taking you. Build a simple debt escape plan. A good debt plan does not need to be complicated. First, stop adding new debt whenever possible. Second, build a small emergency fund. Third, list every debt with its balance, interest rate, minimum payment, and due date. Fourth, choose the avalanche or snowball method. Fifth, make every required payment on time. Sixth, send all extra money toward one selected debt and confirm that it reduces the principal. Finally, roll each cleared payment into the next debt. Extra money can come from canceled subscriptions, reduced convenience spending, sold items, bonuses, refunds, or side income. Choose realistic changes you can repeat every month. The mistake that destroys progress. The biggest mistake is paying debt aggressively while continuing to create new balances. You may send extra money to one card while using another card for daily expenses. This creates the appearance of progress without reducing your total debt. Your repayment plan must be supported by a realistic budget. A budget simply gives every dollar a purpose. Cover essential expenses first, then decide what can be reduced and sent toward debt. Financial freedom is rarely created by one big decision. It is usually built through small decisions repeated for a long time. The bigger lesson. Banks and lenders are businesses. They make money by lending and charging interest and fees according to their agreements. The longer an interest-bearing balance remains, the more it may cost you. The problem is that many borrowers focus on approval, convenience, and monthly payments without studying the full cost. Marketing shows you what you can buy today. It gives less attention to what that purchase may cost over the next several years. The borrower must look beyond the sales message. Do not ask only whether you can borrow. Ask whether borrowing will strengthen or weaken your future. Conclusion. The debt rule is simple. Interest depends on your remaining balance, your rate, and the time you remain in debt. Reduce the principal early, and you reduce the amount that can continue producing interest. Do not let the minimum payment become your permanent plan. Do not confuse a low monthly payment with a cheap loan. Do not assume extra money automatically reduces principal. Know your balance, your rate, your total cost, and your payoff date. Choose a repayment strategy. Protect yourself with emergency savings. Stop creating new balances. Enroll every cleared payment into the next debt. Banks benefit when debt stays alive. You move toward freedom when the principal begins to disappear. So stop asking only, "What is the minimum payment?" Start asking the question that can change your financial future. How quickly can I destroy the principal?